It is the 12th of December. This is Rabbi Furst, Mishna Berura.
Good morning again. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here, Yeshiva Samanapsi here in Yerushalayim, here of Zoom. This is our second share in the morning. Mr. Brewer, Hilchis Nesis Kapayim, Berchis Kohanim, that's in Simin, Kuf Chav Ches 128, Sif Yud Ches Sif 18. Okay. Eliezer Tzvi, Barry, who anyone would like to read?
I'm sorry, where are we starting from again?
Kuf Chav Ches, Simin Kuf Chav 128, Sif Yud Ches 18, Sif 18.
We're in Bays.
Yes, that's right.
In Mikra?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Ein Mikra Shakore Kohanim, Rashai Likrot Kohanim Ad Sheyachlo Mipi Hatzibur Omein, She'onam Acha Berchas Modim. The person who calls up the Kohanim is not allowed to call the Kohanim up until the Tzibur is answered Amen to the bracha of Modim.
Right.
Okay. Ve'ein hakohanim rashayim lehischel berchas asher kitcham b'kedushav shel Aaron ad sheyachol dibur kriyas kohanim mipik hakore, and the kohanim cannot begin their bracha of asher kitcham b'kedushav shel Aaron until the caller has called up Kohanim.
Right.
The Achar Shaborcha Kohanim Asher Kitchon Kedusha Shel Aaron Enem Rishayim Lehitchil Yerecha Ad Yachlu Mipi Kol Tzibur Amen She'onim Achar Birchas Asher Kitchon Kedusha Shel Aaron, and they can't begin the first bracha until after the congregation has completed the Amen after Asher Kitchon B'Kedusha Shel Aaron. V'chein enam rishayim lehitchil b'teva ad she'tachla hateva mipi hakore, and they can't begin saying any of the words of the brachas until they've heard them from the kore who is prompting them.
Don't they say the first word though? Didn't we learn that the Kohanim say the first word of their bracha, and then the Shliach Tzibur then prompts them for the rest of them?
There may have been two different opinions there, right? I think the way we do it in most of our that I've been in, that the mikra always goes first. But I think there was an opinion, because very similar to a shofar, where the makra actually has to call out the first tekiah or not. But I think there were two opinions about that, Barry.
There were two opinions? Okay.
Yeah. That's in Sif Yud Gimel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take a look there in Sif Yud Gimel, Barry. You have it there?
Matchilin Kohanim.
Right.
Ah, okay.
Those were the two opinions. There are different arguments. One says the Kohen start right in. The other one says the makra also calls out the first word for them too.
Okay. They can't begin saying a word until the kore has finished that word. In Tzibur or an Amen ad tichla bracha mipia kohanim, and the Tzibur can't answer Amen to the bracha until the kohanim have completed saying it.
Right.
Agav lo hitchil hakahanim ribono olamim v'chulu ad sheyichulu Amen mipei hatzibur. And the kohanim do not, according to the Ramah, the kohanim do not begin ribono olamim that they say and until after the congregation has answered Amen to the last of the brachas.
Very good. So the general rule is everyone says clearly and slowly, and no one begins before the previous speaker has finished his words.
Okay.
Okay.
Berura.
Yeah.
Likros kahanim ad sheyachlu v'chulu. The kohanim don't begin to speak until the previous the congregation is complete. Amen. Zehu lefi das Mavorim La'el. This is according to the people who said above, who explained above the Sif Yud and Sif Yud, the Mekomos she Nesim Kapayim, in the places where we duchen, Ein Omrim. What's Aleph of Aleph?
There we go.
Elokeinu v'lehavotenu.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
very good.
that makes sense. Great. Thank you, Mayor. Okay, Barachenu v'chulu. Ela techaf achar siyum birchas modim. But we begin after the completion of the bracha of modim. Korei hashatz kahanim, the shliach tzibur calls out kahanim. But lefi minagenu, according to our minhag, Talmud hashatz omer Elokeinu v'kavasenu. In our countries where we do not duchen every day, and the shliach tzibur says Elokeinu v'kavasenu instead, kmo shekaz Ramah, the Ramah writes sham lo shayach klal din zeh. This din does not apply at all because we're not duchening. Dehu hashoab.
That
The lav hachi,
the Balav Haki, right.
the lav hachi harbe yoser.
Al Yedei Amiraso Elokeinu v'Elokeinu Senu. What does he mean here?
There's a lot we say. There's a lot that's said after Elokeinu v'Elokeinu. It's a long. It's not just Kohanim. It's a long paragraph, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right, because therefore, the reason why the Mechaber is going into such great detail is because it's only one word, so you could have people starting in either the Tzibur, the Makra, or the Kohen, because after one word, it could be starting in. But when you're saying a whole paragraph, so it's obvious that the paragraph is going to come to an end before the next section.
Right. Okay. Okay. Continuing. Mipi hatzibur v'chulu. Hanu rov hatzibur. This is when most of the congregation is completed. You have to wait for everybody to complete.
Right.
Okay. Mipi kol hatzibur, from the mouths of the whole congregation. Lefi shehu chayev al ha'am lishmoa kol bracha mipi kohanim, because there's an obligation on the congregation to listen to the whole bracha from the mouths of the kohanim. V'hachi daktek hamachaber b'kan, and therefore the mechaber is very careful here because of kol hatzibur, to say all of the congregation, laharos, to teach da'af im yesh ketzas anashim shomim umarichin ba'amein yoser midai, that even if a small part of the congregation hears and they say a very long amen, tzarich lahamtin gam aleim, you still have to wait for them to finish before they start the next part of the bracha. Lefisha Hakiv Hu Al Kulam, because the obligation is on everybody, Lishma, to hear the brachas of the Kohanim. The Kamozeh, and similarly, Hu Lashitas HaMechaber Le'el. This is the opinion of the Mechaber above.
I think it's Kolzeh, all of this.
I have a Kolzeh, okay. Because Hu Shitas HaMechaber Le'el. This is the Shita of the Mechaber above. The Sif Gimel or Sif Yud Gimel.
That's right. See, Barry, that's what you were talking about. See, Mr. Berura was anticipating your question. You see that?
And of course, he's always ahead of us.
Shapasak who rules the Ein HaChazan Mikra Tevas Yivarecha. The Chazan does not say the word Yivarecha V'ad V'im Kain Tzarech Lahazir HaKahanim B'tchila B'hat Chilasam Yivarecha, and therefore if so, the congregation, the Kohanim have to quickly say the word Yivarecha. About Ladidan, according to us, Chazan Mikra Gam Teva Yivarecha, where the Chazan also says the word Yivarecha, Yesh Azara al HaChazan, we have a warning to the Chazan, Shalo Yachil Lahakros Hateva, to Yivarecha, that he shouldn't begin saying the word Yivarecha, Kodem, Shesamu al Kop, Shesaimu, until the Kohanim have finished saying the bracha, or the amen is completed. Okay, Al Kopanim, okay, Rov Hatziva amen. Shirecha Kodem Shesimu al Kopanim Rov Hatzibur amen.
Have to finish at least. Rov with the tzibur has to finish at least.
Okay, right. Sorry. Okay. I mean, the Acher Shasim HaChazan Es Hateva Az Mutir HaKonim L'Achil Yivrecha. And after the Chazan is finished saying Yivrecha, then it is permissible for the Kohanim to begin by saying saying Yivrecha.
Right. Very good.
Okay. Amen onim acha birchas kahan v'chulu. The amen they say after the bracha. Biladin she'ena rashai hakori l'hichil yar yair yisa ad sheyachu ha'amin mipnei hatzibur. And similarly, the makra cannot begin the next hint until the congregation is finished saying the amen after the previous bracha. Ad shetichla hatev, until it's completed the word. Kadesh shisamnu hatzibur hatever yafa. They've heard the word completely. Mipia kohanim, from the mouths of the kohanim. Lo tarov ba shemaisem mehamikre, and that they did not hear the word. They did not base their man on hearing the word from the makre instead of from the kohanim.
Right. So here the Mr. Berura is saying part of the importance of all this is that when the tzibur is going to be saying amen, it should come out clearly that they're saying amen to what the Kohen was saying, not what the makre is saying. Right? Therefore, we have to make sure that everyone's saying it slowly and carefully and distinctly.
Okay. Mipi hamakre, from the mouth of the makre. Venir dehuadin shamakre lo hitchil lahakros teva acheres adshi saimu hakohanim ateva shelafonov. And the makre should be careful not to begin saying the next word, until after the Kohanim have finished the previous word.
Is there any we're going to get to this later maybe, but we have one person in the shul who when he is prompting the Kohanim, he does it in the same nusach as the Kohanim.
Mhm.
which is a little confusing sometimes because you especially when there's only when there's one Kohen on the Duchening. Most of them say it quietly, almost inaudible to the Kehillah.
They
but the
should, that's the way
Kohanim-
they should, that's the way they should be doing it.
Yeah,
Which-
and this one guy is doing a performance.
He shouldn't be. He really shouldn't be.
Well, I think Mayor should call the Gabbai in my shul and
Maybe Barry, ask him to join us here and we'll all learn together.
We'll
yeah,
learn him good. We'll learn him good.
it's really very distracting.
I hear you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well,
And especially when you get used to the Makri being very quiet. And you
Yeah,
only talk, and then when somebody doesn't do it that way, it's very jarring.
yeah,
It,
very
it
much.
just throws it throws your rhythm off, as it were.
Right, exactly. Well put.
okay.
Okay.
Although we haven't seen anything yet that the Makra can't, like, for example, when answering Amen, there's a halacha, you can't answer Amen louder than the one who's making the bracha, right? But we haven't
Right.
seen yet that the Makra can't do it out loud or louder. I mean, again, if it's going to be, person shouldn't do anything distracting in any event, whether it's written in Shulchan Aruch or not. But in terms of it, does he have to say it lower or in a whisper? We haven't seen it he has to say it in a whisper yet, because that hasn't come up in halacha yet.
Okay. I'm up to noon. Am I up to noon? I lost my
Not 1 second.
Memtes.
Samik test.
Samiktes. I'm sorry, Samiktes. Onen Amen. The answer Amen. Hainu b'chol bracha bracha. This is the main after each of the brachas. Ayin ad yichla until they're able. Ha'achronim pakbeku v'hai gavna zu delo mishkachas la dahare ein matchilin lomer ribono olamim ad sheyachziru bifneihem. And the achronim are careful.
Like they part of the question. The question is Haggadah. The question is for a moment.
Okay, and they say and I guess they don't find
Right.
They don't find-
We don't see that this is a halacha that's brought down. They don't find a source to the remark. Right?
okay.
They don't find a source to the remark statement.
Because they don't begin to say Ribono Olamim until they've turned back around. Ein Maksirim Paneim Ad She'achar Mashkil Hashatz Sim Shalom. And they don't turn around until after the Shliach Sivers begin to say Sim Shalom. So there is a gap there. Okay. K'muvad l'Ayo b'Siman Tesvav, as we explained above in Siman Tesvav, of who achar shekfar anu atzibur amen. And this is certainly after the tzibur said amen. So you're saying, the Mechaber is being very strict here, because if they have to wait until they turn around, and they don't turn around until after the Shaliach Tzibur has started Sim Shalom, the Tzibur certainly answered amen to the last bracha, so there's no problem at this point.
Right. Okay. That brings us to the next Simon, you'd test.
Yud Tes. Ain't shots Rashai Anos Amen Acha Birchas Shel Kohanim. The Shliach Tzibur does not have the
It's not permitted.
It's not permitted to answer it Amen after Birchas Kohanim, because it's a hefsek in his davening.
Right.
We had an interesting case by Musaf yesterday, where the Chazan was a Kohen, and he did not say Birchas Kohanim. He didn't do anything.
Really?
He just stood. It's, which I'm used to having the Chazan do Birchos, when is a Kohen do Birchos Kohanim. He didn't do anything. He just stood there. He didn't answer Amen. He didn't say the bracha. He wasn't makri. He didn't do anything. He just stood there silently. It was.
We're among the Kahila?
No, he was a Shliach Tzibor.
Interesting.
Oh,
okay.
he didn't go up? Oh, okay.
He didn't duchen. He didn't. Usually the Shliach Tzibor just turns around in place and duchen's there. But he
Right,
didn't.
right.
But he didn't do that. He didn't do that. He didn't act as the makre calling it out. One of the members in the congregation called out, and he didn't answer Amen to the brachas.
The way we do it in our shul is that if the Kohanim is davening by the Amid, he turns around and he participates, and someone else in the Kahila calls out.
Yeah, I'm used to. That's what I'm used to seeing. But he didn't do anything. It was interesting.
That's the fellow in my shul who that's when he does this fancy calling out, when in place of the Kohanim. So I don't know. It's a real performance. I'm telling you, it's.
Okay, well, he could be doing worse. Let's count our
Pardon me?
blessings.
What's
He
that?
could be doing worse. Let's count our blessings.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get the Mr. Brewer. Achar birchas shel kohanim, after the birchas of kohanim, shema tispalbel daito, because maybe it's going to confuse him. V'lo yodei lahakos achar kach pasach beis ugimel, and he won't know to say the second or third psukim. Mispal mitoch hasidor, and if he's davening from a siddur, umavutach lo shalo mispal, and it's clear that he's not going to become confused. He's not going to become confused. Rashaya anos amen. Then he does have the ability to answer amen. The amen zeh eno chashuv hefsek, because this amen is not considered a hefsek in his bracha. The have a sorech tefillah, because it's the part of the needs of the tefillah. If you amen shal brachas asher kitchen miplusha so v'chulu yesh machmirin shebechol gavna lo yana. But as far as the first bracha goes of asher kitchen miplusha so Aaron, that the Kohanim say. They're mocking over this. He doesn't answer amen. Mishum hefsek tefillah, because that there it is a hefsek from the tefillah. V'shani amen shel birchos kohanim gufa, and the amen on the birchos kohanim themselves is different. Dlo hare hefsek shehu moda al kabbalas habracha, because that's not a hefsek, because he's being moda that he's accepting the bracha that the kohanim are giving him.
So it comes out that if you're davening with a siddur, you could in fact answer amen to the brachas as well, yeah?
Yeah. Though I usually don't see him do it.
Mhm.
And these days everybody uses a siddur.
Yeah, at least you don't hear him. 1 minute.
All right.
Very good. Okay, Mr. Shem, I think we can stop here. We'll continue tomorrow.
All right.
Just mention
Okay.
about the. Okay, we'll pick up tomorrow, Mr. Shem. Everyone should have a good day.
All right. Have a good day, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you. Hope to see you all tomorrow. Shalom, bye.
See you, Mayor.
So Lou, the reason I wasn't here on Friday is because I have to prepare for Shabbos now.
Oh, right, of course.
So it's too difficult for me to spend 2 hours at Shiurim and get ready for Shabbos when it's so early.
Yeah. I understand. I actually didn't take a shower, and I only mop the kitchen floor.
Wow.
It comes in so early. I wasn't able to do it all, so I understand completely.
Yeah, before you
And my
know it,
wife
it's Shabbos.
works really hard, does a lot of stuff. So, okay, the floor, Shalema.
Amen. Thank you. Okay.